subdivisions, the eMTB market is increasingly becoming chopped up, offering riders so many different options, and in particular, varying motor power and battery sizes. On a Wild Hill in Wales, we'll be taking a detailed look at what this means to you, the rider. Today, we have a visitor, a very glamorous one, and we have pleasure of welcoming the M1 Sporttechnik from just south of Munich with the Bosch Performance Line SX motor. So we're going to be taking this bike into sheep country to see whether less power mean less performance or not.
It's getting dark and we did everything and nothing at all. And I should leave, 'cause this is bad. Your hands make up for the love we don't have. Baby, we're wasting our youth.
This then is the M1 Sporttechnik EN.400 SX. It's classified as a light eMTB. What is light eMTB, you might well ask? Well, it's not actually the weight of the bike. It's the support of the motor. Light assistance rather than higher levels of assistance, which you'll get from more powerful drive units. Let's be very clear here. In creating the SX motor, Bosch have also created at the same time a mid-assist class. So what the SX motor can do, it can do a little bit of what light assist bikes can do, and it can do a little bit, it can tap into some of the capabilities of the full power assist bikes. What's great about M1 is that they have actually divided their range up nicely depending on the power of the motor. So light, middle and heavyweight bikes. I think it's a great and simple way of looking at things. They use Bosch, Brose and TQ. Now the detail of this is as follows. First of all is the EN.400 SX with, of course, the Bosch SX motor, 400 watt-hour battery and a 55 Nm motor. And this is the EN.750 TF with the Brose motor at 90 Nm and a 700 watt-hour battery. However, when you have bikes which are over 100 Nm, the likes of the TQ HPI 120 motor on M1's EN.1050, wow, what a beast, and a 1050 watt-hour battery. Now that is the full heavyweight class. So as you can see, a larger capacity battery will actually equal more weight on the bike. But all bikes in the M1 Enduro range feature a Fox 38 fork, 160-170 mil travel up front, and of course the Enduro geometry. But returning to the question, just because a bike has less torque on tap, does that mean it's less capable? Let's have a look in these hills to find out. Obviously, you need the skills to go with it as well. Now, capability isn't just about the motor, it's about the character of the bike. In this instance, hanging out with sheep and dealing with clueless riders on rocks. Now, the great thing about the M1 bikes with the SX motor is that they come in different component specifications. So you've got cross-country versions, all-mountain, enduro, and more utility-style bikes. So the componentry will reflect the type of riding you'll be doing on those bikes. Right, for the next section, I need to see. In particular, there are 4 other models featuring the Bosch SX motor. The World Cup, the All Mountain, the Cross Country and GT. all with a different component specification designed for different uses. We're looking at bikes from 17 to 21 kilos. So before you even begin talking motor, there is a massive capability discussion to be had just between those bikes. Now, I'm very happy to say that it's the Enduro version of the M1 Sporttechnik bike with the Bosch motor we've got for our riding today, and it's reflected in the componentry. So we've got Fox 38 forks on there, Magura 203mm rotors and downhill standard braking, stiff sidewall tyres, we've got wide handlebars, we've got aluminium DT Swiss wheels on there, which are proper durable. So, like I said, for this kind of riding, this bike is reflected with the componentry. And that's the thing with a lot of lightweight bikes. Some of the brands are putting parts on the bikes which aren't built for purpose just to get the number on the scales. So all in all then, a proper blood and thunder enduro style bike with uncompromising components. Oh, I forgot to mention 27.5 wheels. And one other thing, I really do like the look of M1 bikes. I always have done. I think they've got a proper futuristic and clean look about them. I mean, look at the shock integration into the top tube there. I mean, why isn't anybody doing it in such a clean way as these guys? And obviously that protects the shock from dirt as well. Maybe not on a day like this, but in general. Right, so we're talking capability. Now, a bike such as this, 170, 160 will travel, will spend a lot of its time going down and across as well as up, and also spend a lot of its time amongst some big, hefty rocks. So, thankfully, as I mentioned a minute ago, we've got componentry which is built for purpose. Now, not only that, it needs to be a bike which is designed for descending, and as such, it needs the geometry to enable it to do that. So, numbers on this bike are proper enduro numbers. We've got a 445mm chainstay, so it's a good mix of its ability to climb and descend. You can dive into those corners. Remember, there's a 27.5 wheel on the back. 465 reach, which is bang on in size large. A head-tube angle of 64, a wheelbase of 1268, so great stability on those descents. But not only the geometry numbers, and a 77-degree C-tube angle. It's not only the geometry numbers, it's some of the component parts of that carbon frame as well. So if you take a look down here, you've got a rubber guard on the down tube, which is great for rock strikes. You've got some really good protection on the chainstay here, and also protection on the back of the seat tube. So all in all, this is a bike which is built for proper nasty terrain. So to answer the first part of the question, is less power, less capable? Well, remember, in a downhill situation, and because this bike is a little less weight, it'll be a little bit more maneuverable. The changes of direction on this bike might be easier than would be the case with maybe a bike which is 26 kilos. So first part of the answer is yes, it is equally as capable. Right then, the uphill part of the equation. Now, as I started mentioning with this video, that Bosch have actually created a mid-assist bike in the Bosch SX motor. And M1 themselves have done a fantastic job of creating 3 different categories of bike in this enduro trim. So you've got lower power versions, which is the Bosch, you've got the mid-power, which is the Brose, and this crazy high power, the TQ HPR 120 with 120 Newton meters of torque. Now, I was going to say that maybe the kind of lower assist bikes would be, say, a Peugeot 106, and the high power bikes would be equivalent to an Audi RS6, but that's probably a bad analogy, right? So remember, the new Bosch SX is actually one that sits bang in between the power numbers. It will cover some of the light assist duties to almost all of the capabilities of full assist. Now, for many, this mid-range drive unit will actually be the one to choose for many reasons, not just about power. For example, the bikes will be lighter, the riding sensation will be similar to eMTB, and it's a bike where muscle power meets electric power. Righty, uphill capability. Let's cover off a few things first. Rider skills key, and also such things as your tyres and your tyre pressures. Now, if you want to see a fantastic explanation of just where Bosch SX sits, check out the video we did with main man Klaus Fleischer of Bosch e-bike systems, where he explains how you've got light assist, full assist, and the SX sits bang in the middle as a mid assist. In terms of power versus skill access, now, the SX motor is one that sits in the middle, as I mentioned. So now if you look all around me here in a typical mountain environment, you have fire roads. So the M1 Sports Enduro bike will be perfectly capable of them. It'll also be capable of reasonably steep single track as well, such as maybe this one we have on the right-hand side here. Where you need to maybe think a bit more is where you've got super technical trails. For example, this one up here, really rocky, really steep. It's where rider skill, maybe even rider weight comes into it, because weight will have an effect on the light to mid assist bike. So the steeper it gets, you might be looking for the fuller power bikes. But for most people, in most environments, that SX on that M1 bike will be bang on. Whoa! Oh. Wow. So good. Just so good. You just wouldn't do that on a mountain bike.